I'm gonna say the heck word.
Just gonna say this now because we did have this little discussion beforehand. There isn't an overabundance of mountain lions, and especially not grizzly bears in the U.S. at any place.
Mm-hmm. Someone's been looking at lists of endangered species.
Someone's been doing basic research. You know, the kind of thing you should do when you're writing a story.
Maybe Stephenie Meyer was actively trying to destroy the environment.
Possibly. Well, like, she made the justification. Make sure to go to places where these animals are overabundant. Where? In places where they're put in zoos in other countries and accidentally get out?
Yes, the Vampire Animal Hunting Squad.
Does that mean that vampires in Brazil are hunting hippopotamuses?
Oh god, I know the vampires in this are supposed to be strong, but I don't think you want to fuck with a hippo.
What happened to Greg, hippo? Just in two pieces.
I mean, based on what Edward said, he's lucky he's fast enough to run away from it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think he could fuck with it.
Well, I'd hope not. Otherwise, that would just be complete bullshit. But yeah, like, things that could work. Coyotes, their population is increasing.
Mm-hmm.
Feral hogs.
Yeah.
Like, literally, they are invasive throughout the entire U.S. due to the fact that it only takes a few generations from a domesticated farm pig to turn back into a feral hog. And I don't mean that the pig itself physically turns. I mean that two domesticated pigs out in the wild reproduce, and a few generations down the line, their descendants give birth to feral hogs. The animal this seems to happen with.
Does that mean inbreeding creates feral hogs?
I don't think that's quite it.
Because you said generations, and if only two pigs escape, then their kids are going to end up fucking each other. So what you're pretty much telling me is that fair...
That's not what I mean.
No, man, that's completely what you mean.
No, okay, that was bad phrasing on my part. It's unlikely that just two are going to escape. But yeah, like, it only takes a few generations. Feral hogs are an invasive species throughout the U.S., so it would make sense to go after those. They are predatory animals. They have a high intelligence, so hell, that might actually help with that whole fucking taste thing. God,
I'm gonna laugh if, like, Edward, like, tries to bite into, like, a feral hog, and there's just, like, they spring a trap on him.
And on top of that, the fact that they run in such large groups means that they are quite the fucking challenge. Hell, they're the kind of thing that a handgun takes multiple shots to put down.
Wait, hold on. So that stupid meme about 10 to 20 feral hogs attacking my child's true?
Well, no, because if you live in an area where that's liable to be a normal occurrence, you shouldn't be letting your child play in the outside in the first place. On top of that, the time it would take for you to get your assault rifle, and get back to the door, your child would already be dead.
Yeah. That's why you don't lock the door.
Or teach your child to climb up a tree the moment they hear squealing.
Oh yeah, I guess that's one of the few scary predators that can't climb a tree, huh?
Now, whenever you hear... Oh god, no, that was a terrible pig squeal.
Whenever you hear woo.
Now, John, in the moment you hear squealing, I need you to climb.
I don't care what, just climb something.
But yeah, because those things are known to get into the local canyon and tear up the cacti.
Really?
Yes.
Those fuckers eat cactuses.
Well, they eat the fruit off the cactuses for the most part, but they'll uproot the cacti.
And kill it, pretty much?
Basically. Like, they'll do...
Sad.
Oh, yeah. Like all this sort of shit. Like, they're not an animal you want to fuck with.
Ah, shit. You just reminded me of things I want to fuck. What?
Please tell me pigs isn't one of them.
No, it's either a crab, a raptor, or a Scylla.
Please tell me it's at least a monster girl.
Yes, of course.
But, like, they're densely basically the whole thing that makes a chest shot not do much is, like, the fact of how densely muscled they are.
Yeah, because they're thick boys, right?
Muscle-wise, yes.
Yeah. Which one? The crab, the raptor, or the jellyfish bitch?
Well, I think that might actually just be a Scylla because of the weird mix of dog and octopus traits.
No, it is.
Yeah. Like, it has dog ears.
Yeah, it's specifically called a Scylla.
Yeah. I do like the raptor.
Yeah, I really like the raptor,
feet are really fucking weird. Anyway.
It's got one big-ass toe.
Well, no, not that. It's, I don't know. You look at it and the feet are twisted in a weird way.
Yeah, like raptor feet. Yuck, not really.
Not even like that. Like the fact that the outside toe is going past the middle toe.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't be happening. Trust me, I know my shit when it comes to dinosaurs.
Alright, I'm gonna vote raptor.
Alright then. Are you planning on adding those to the waifu bot?
No, this is for Monster Girl Island.
Oh, is that a thing being added to that?
It's literally the last girl that we're voting on right now. So the last girl in the game was either going to be a crab girl, a raptor, or a Scylla.
I got ya.
So far, everyone's voting for the Scylla and the raptor girl, with the raptor girl currently in the lead.
I mean, if the crab girl had a crab body, but...
And she could only walk sideways.
Anyway.
Yeah. You want to start?
Yeah. We're on page 248, chapter 12, Complications.
Craig's just been sitting here for 15 minutes like, you guys gonna start?
I'm sorry, we've been talking about feral hogs. But yeah, god damn it. That whole thing that was said was so fucking stupid because of how specific it was. And unless you already had your gun in hand watching your child...
Which the whole thing that hinged on was you not watching your child. It wasn't even 10 to 20, it was 30 to 50 feral hogs.
It was 30 to 50, which is a weird amount. Because
what,
if memory
I thought you
serves,
said they're in large groups, right?
Yes, but their large groups are closer to 10 to 20.
Bet. So even I had a more logical thing, and I know nothing about feral hogs.
30 to 50 is weirdly large.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a pack, that's a hive. There's a feral hog queen out there. Anyway. But yes, the Cullens should be eating feral hogs, and you know what? They are going to give a challenge because of how tough their skin is, so the bite is going to take a lot of force.
Honestly, anyway. If I was a vampire, I'd just pick up a feral hog and then speed into the center of town and just drop it there and watch what happened.
I thought you were going to say that your method of killing it was picking it up and then speeding into a solid object.
I mean, that was going to be my next option for killing them.
Oh god, it's thrashing around. I gotta kill it quick. Just super speeds into tree.
The tree and the pig explodes.
Not even the pig explodes, just the tree explodes.
The pig no sells the tree.
The pig is just knocked unconscious.
I would just drop it and just be like, nope, I'll rather risk getting killed by humans than fight these fuckers.
It's not even dead. It's just knocked unconscious.
Exactly.
No bones broken. Anyway. Bella and I walked silently to biology. I was trying to focus myself on the moment, on the girl beside me, on what was real and solid, on anything that would keep Alice's deceitful, meaningless visions out of my head.
Legit question for rural witches. How do I appease the 30 to 50 feral hags that fly into my yard within 3 to 5 minutes while my small imps play?
God damn it, my backyard is full of hags.
We passed Angela Weber lingering on the sidewalk discussing an assignment with a boy from her trigonometry class. I scanned her thoughts perfunctorily, expecting more disappointment, only to be surprised by the wistful tenor.
No, get it, Angela. So there was something Angela wanted.
That
Unfortunately, it
dick.
wasn't something so easily gift wrapped.
I mean, Dick in a box is a thing, so.
Oh yeah, but that's not quite the same as just like gift wrapping it by itself.
Yeah.
Less condom with a bow.
Here's my really fancy condom that looks like Christmas gift wrap, which I bet is a thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Dude, there's glow in the dark ones.
Christmas gift wrap condoms. Okay, Walmart, why are you giving me paper dinosaur? No, that was a really. Okay. Alright, that's enough of that. It's just giving me Christmas wrap, not condoms.
Oh.
F.
Anyway, you're a line.
I felt strangely comforted for a moment hearing Angela's hopeless yearning. A sense of kinship that Angela would never know about passed through me, and I was, in that second, at one with the kind human girl.
You know what would be interesting? If he ever actually talked to this girl.
Yeah. She's too nice for him, though.
Edward doesn't deserve her friendship.
Nope.
Oh god. It was oddly consoling to know that I wasn't the only one living out a tragic love story. Heartbreak was everywhere. Well, you know, if she actually worked up the gumption to ask him. 30 to 50 feral hogs at this time of year in this part of the country, localized entirely within your yard? Yes.
May I
Can
see
I
it?
see? No. Talk about some steamed hams.
You're right, it would be steamed hams.
Aurora Borealis.
In the next second, I was abruptly and thoroughly irritated because Angela's story didn't have to be tragic. She was human. That's not the problem here, Edward.
The
And he was
problem is
human.
you're a dick.
The difference that seemed so insurmountable in her head was ridiculous, truly ridiculous compared to my own situation. There was no point in her broken heart. What a wasteful sadness when there was no valid reason for her not to be with the one she wanted. Why shouldn't she have what she wanted? Why shouldn't this story have a happy ending? I could just picture Edward just standing there menacingly behind the girl, staring at the dude. He reads the dude's mind real quick, and then he just kind of keeps staring, and then just kind of points at her like, "Ask her."
No.
Ask her out. Or she does it, or he does it from the other side. He's just like, ask him. Just either
Oh
way.
god, I'm just imagining grab her by the shoulders. You was kind, you was beautiful, you was important. Now go get your man.
Exactly.
Just give her the just give her like an impromptu pep talk.
And then he's just like, she's just like, who are you?
Shut up. It's an entire gender flipped version of that one song from The Little Mermaid. You gotta kiss the boy. Oh, damn it. Did you finish yours?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to give her a gift. I'll hog tie the guy, put a bow on his head, and drop him off on her doorstep. Her parents are going to be very confused. It just says to Edge. Just a little tag. Angela, you mind explaining? Don't look at me, Mom. I'm just as confused as you are.
All I would have to do was plant the suggestion.
Oh, okay. I didn't finish the line.
Fuck.
All I said was I wanted to give her a gift.
Dude, I fucked up. Shit.
Well, I would give her what she wanted. Knowing what I did of human nature, it probably wouldn't even be that difficult. All she probably would have to do is ask. It's not that fucking hard, people. I sifted through the consciousness of the boy beside her, the object of her affections. He did not seem unwilling. He was just stymied by the same difficulty she was, hopeless and resigned, the way she was.
And then it's about planting the suggestion.
The plan formed easily. The script wrote itself without effort on my part. I would need Emmett's help. Oh my god, do not mind control him into dating her.
Edward, you're being creepy.
Edward, that's bad. That is a bad. No. Bad Edward.
I was pleased with my solution.
I didn't finish.
Oh, fuck. Shit.
Getting him to go along with this was the only real difficulty. Human nature was so much easier to manipulate than vampire nature. Bad. Bad Edward.
Really? Humans are easy to manipulate? I mean, sometimes, yeah, but they're also kind of random.
Yes, but
yeah.
Other than that, and food. And
just sex. Like, wow, this was amazing. Who made this? Angela.
All I'm thinking about is this one story from Tumblr in which a girl was ended up like Pavloving this one guy she thought was cute.
How so?
Literally every time that, because he was a friend of a friend, basically. And every time that he was there, she would give him a piece of chocolate. And so eventually it would literally be a thing to like, every time he saw her, he would get excited, but then but they got confused as to why.
Chocolate?
It was like, oh hey, it's her. Wait, what?
It's the chocolate lady. Here to
Which
give
is
me chocolate.
Both fucked up but kind of hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are manipulating someone into falling for it. That's a bad. But it's still kind of a funny situation. It's fucked up but funny.
Was she doing it on purpose, though? That's the thing.
She was.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of dangerous. Don't do that.
Like I said, fucked up but funny. I almost said fucked up but forest because of what I was looking at. God damn it.
Yeah, do you get the reference for this one?
Legit question to the gods of the forest. How do I kill the 30 to 50 feral hogs that run into my forest within 3 to 5 minutes while my ironworkers mine? I'm not entirely sure I know what it's from.
Lady Eboshi's from Princess Mononoke, I think.
Okay, got ya. Oh, now I get it. Got ya. Okay.
Yeah. She wants to kill the gods of the forest.
The iron. Okay, now I got it.
Yeah.
I barely remember the names of the people I talk to on a regular basis.
A little same.
You can't expect me to remember the names of a character from an anime.
Yeah. Car salesman slaps roof of yard. This bad boy can fit 30 to 50 feral hogs.
Anyway.
Also, when he kept talking about leaving Angela a gift, I thought he was going to leave like a piece of his body in there for her.
Honestly, I was still just expecting him hog-tied with a bow and a tag on him.
Mm-hmm. I was pleased with my solution with my gift for Angela. It was a nice diversion from my own problems. Would that mine were as easily fixed. I really wish this would have turned to where Edward just kind of forgets about Bella and lets his sister have his way with her as, consensual adults or teenagers or whatever.
I was about to say phrasing.
And then Edward just goes after this chick.
Edward realizes that friendship is the best gift, is the most important thing of all, and puts his romantic interests on the sideline.
To watch her fuck someone else.
I was just imagining, just with Angela, it's not even like a sexual or romantic attraction.
She's too nice, and Edward's just kind of uncomfortable with it.
Edward's just like, I want to be your friend. Again, that would have made a more interesting story.
Playing matchmaker as an immortal being would be hilarious.
I wasn't meaning the matchmaker thing, just the whole thing of...
No, but just trying to help people with that kind of stuff,
Oh, God. Yeah, I was just imagining, a story of, some... Did you know that an average person swallows 30 to 50 feral hogs in their sleep every year? God damn it! But I'm just imagining, this immortal being that doesn't have very many friends, and they just come across this person, and, has trouble relating to people, but comes across this one person that's just, surprisingly genuine. And is just I want to be this person's friend. Not like and it doesn't like bloom into a sexual or romantic thing ever, like at all. It's just this
Story of
person is kind of
friendship.
interesting. I want to be their friend. A lot of stories that do that would be more interesting instead of, oh, well, it's a guy and a girl, they have to fuck. Because you know what? Friendship. I mean, like, not every relationship between two people who are technically within each other's dating pool needs to end with a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Like, hell, you could even have a thing where they try dating and it doesn't work for either of them, so they decide being friends is the best thing for them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't believe you finished yours. Or did you say, or was yours,
I thought I just saw this say TGI Fridays and I was about to scream.
Did you, like, say that mine would be, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
My mood was improved slightly as Bella and I took our seats. Maybe I could be more positive. It would be a nice change of pace, honestly. Because I'm just going to say it, constantly negative characters aren't interesting because eventually you just get tired.
Yeah.
Like, if they're just like the lighthearted, like the joking complainer or something like that, that can work. Ash Williams is an entertaining character because of the fact that he's out for himself and constantly complaining about having to deal with all these terrible things. But he still deals with it.
Like a good adult.
Like a barely functioning alcoholic.
Yep.
Who's upper middle-aged. Past his prime. Missing a hand.
Oh, yeah.
And has severe PTSD from all of his friends dying twice.
Twice? I've never watched anything with Ash in it.
Well, Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2 is technically, the recap is technically a remake.
Oh.
But because of the fact that the studio, weirdly enough, wasn't able to get, like, oh, okay, because Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2, if memory serves, were made by two different studios. The second studio, weirdly enough, wasn't able to get the rights to the footage from Evil Dead 1. So the recap has all different actors.
Whoa.
And then goes into the thing of just Ash dealing with it.
You guys look different, you know that?
Oh, God, I'm having a stroke. But yeah, which also in the first movie, he was called Ashley, which shortened to Ash later. And then there's also the Starz TV show, Ash vs. the Evil Dead, which was pretty good, but got canceled in the middle of the, like a few episodes into the third season, due in part to the fact that people were pirating it. So it wasn't making any money.
Oh, rip.
Yeah, the whole thing is that it was on the Starz network. AKA the network that no one watches. Like, the only things worth watching on there is Ash vs. Evil Dead and American Gods. Nothing else. Anyway, maybe there was a solution out there for us. Maybe there was some solution out there for us that was escaping me. The way Angela's obvious solution was so invisible to her.
It's because the man she likes is invisible!
God, I'm just remembering this one manga I came across where, like, one of the jokes is, like, the male lead is technically half ghost. And so he doesn't have a head. Like, he can still see and stuff like that, but he doesn't have a head. Like, no neck. Like, just hollow when you look to his shirt collar.
Wow.
So you never know exactly where the person begins and the ghost the ghost ends and the person begins. But, like, his girlfriend is still able to tell how he's feeling just by looking at him. It's honestly kind of an entertaining story. It's one of those slice of life ones that is a weird enough premise that I find it interesting. It's not often that you have the whole monster boy thing.
This is when I'd be a terrible person and would constantly terrorize him by throwing things where his head would be.
Weirdly enough, with how like laid back and non-confrontational he is, he probably like just he might apologize.
No, here's the thing, though. I would have tried to slap him.
Dear God!
At
What
one
are you,
point
a
or another,
cat?
it would escalate to me trying to slap him. I'd just be like, "Where's his face?" Zoop. Oh, there it is.
What are you, a cat?
Yes. No, I'm just a really cruel individual.
Well, weirdly enough, there was a whole thing where like the school bully challenged him to a fight because of one of those whole stupid like romantic rival type thing.
I really don't get why people try to fight each other for.
Well, it's the whole thing of like her being like, no, I have a boyfriend. I'm flattered. It's like, no,
Exactly.
I'll fight your boyfriend, and then like,
what do they think they're gonna gain from that?
I don't know. It's fucking stupid, and I do honestly hate that trope. But at least the payoff was entertaining in the fact that like he comes around the corner, just like really shy. Is like, just like. I mean, I really don't want to fight you. Please go easy on me. But the school bully sees that he's a guy without a fucking head, panics and faints. It counts it as his win.
I would have been like, "Where the fuck's your head, bro?"
But it's a fucking stupid trope, and I fucking hate it, and I don't know why like Japan keeps using it.
I don't know why people get mad at that. Even in real life, I don't get why people.
Like even
in
real life, it's a stupid fucking thing. But
like whenever somebody cheats on you, you don't get mad at the person cheating on you. You're getting mad at the person they're cheating on you with. Like, no, what?
Well,
get
like
mad at the
okay,
if cheating on you.
Well, yeah, that too. But she wasn't. She was like, "Hey,
Yeah,
no, can
I
you
know
not?"
it's a different thing, but like people try to fight the same gender, even though it's. I don't like it.
But
It's dumb.
like in the real world, there's also the whole thing of people being like, "I could treat you better than your actual SO," and it's like,
That's nice.
bitch,
Go away, please.
fuck off. I don't care. I fucking hate that. I fucking hate that both in real life and oh god, and in fiction. It is the stupidest fucking thing.
I can treat you better than your boyfriend right now. I actually have a head, so I can I can wink at you.
I can tell when he's winking at me. How? I just can.
Is his head just invisible, or does he actually just not have a head?
If memory serves, his head for the most part is just like incorporeal.
So I could just stick my hand through it, right?
I guess. Like they honestly,
that's what would have happened. I would have tried to slap it.
I swear to God, you are a fucking cat. This is a nice vase you have here. Yes, it is. Thwack.
I don't break other people's things unless it's their bodies.
I'm just gonna say this right now. Please don't try to go into sadomasochism.
That's fine. I'm not a masochist or a sadist or any of that kind of stuff.
That's the problem. I just try to break people's bodies. I'm not a masochist.
I'm just a horrible person.
Figured.
What's wrong?
Anyway.
If his head's incorporeal, me slapping at the place above where his head should be is not going to do anything.
Then you should at least ask before you do it. Like,
of course, I'm not going to sneak up and try to slap this man out of the blue. I would just been like. He just would have been like, so I would have been like, so you don't have a face? It's not even like invisible or anything? And he would have said no. And I would have been like, so if I slap you above your head, you're not going to feel it? And then if he said no, I would have been like, bet. And then I just would have like swung my hand right where his head would have been.
You're still
I'm not even talking about like the pimp slap kind of thing. I'm talking about like the lazy kind of you see it coming. If it's actually gonna hurt, you can block me kind of slap.
So more just like fanning where his head would be.
Yes, but very aggressive fanning.
Well, that tends to be how fanning is.
Exactly.
Anyway, but why waste the time with hopelessness? I didn't have time to waste when it came to Bella. Every second mattered. Oh god.
Mm.
Your line.
Mr. Banner, Bruce Banner, entered pulling an ancient TV and VCR.
Well, I say pulling. He was actually carrying it one-handed. He was green at the time. It was weird. No, he was gray. He turned into Legbreaker Joe.
He was skipping through a section he wasn't particularly interested in, genetic disorders. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure there'd be a lot of DNA problems. By showing a movie for the next 3 days, Lorenzo's oil was not a very cheerful piece, but that didn't stop the excitement in the room. No notes, no testable material. 3 free days. The humans exulted. And this is when the teacher pulls out a paper that has like things you got to write down from the movie.
Yeah.
But it's quite clearly they got it online, so you can just look up the answers usually.
I swear to God, I did make sure to put in an egg earlier today. Why the hell wasn't there one?
What?
Oh, I hatched an egg in Pokemon Go earlier today, and I swear to God I put another one in the incubator, but apparently I didn't.
Oh. I was like, okay, I didn't know you're raising eggs.
No, I got a Blastoise with one of the, mission things. Like, the Pokemon it gave me to catch was a Blastoise. Really wasn't expecting it.
Oh.
I mean, earlier today I ended up catching a Lapras with one of the story missions.
Oh, nice.
It was smaller than my existing Lapras.
Ooh, teeny.
Yeah, well, power-wise. It was actually bigger physically.
Oh, rip.
But I have been keeping the data on the site of the physical sizes of all the Pokemon I've been catching.
Why?
I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. So I have an Excel sheet on my computer that has like the different Pokemon I have, their size according to the Pokedex, and then the sizes of like the different ones I've caught since I started doing this.
Yeah.
The one I think I have the most in is Raichu.
Oh.
Because of all the special event Pikachus.
Yeah.
Anyway, it didn't matter to me either way. I hadn't been planning on paying attention to anything but Bella. There's a word for that.
Is it crazy?
I was going to say obsessive.
Ah.
And I just remembered that according to Stephenie Meyer, vampires have an increased number of chromosomal pairs.
Oh.
Which makes no sense when you consider the fact that crossbreeding between a male vampire and a female human is possible.
Yeah, I don't really know how any of this works, and at this point, I just don't care.
There's a reason why with the unmasked world, all of the non-human races have the same number of chromosomes as humans.
So granted, they can make cute babies together.
Like, there actually is a comparison at one point that basically the difference between all the races is kind of like like a magically enhanced version of the difference between different breeds of dog.
Oh.
Of course, this is a world in which magic exists, and a lot of these different races were technically directly created by gods.
Oh.
So you can handwave some things. For instance, Arachnes were originally created by the goddess Athena after she accidentally drove Arachne, the first Arachne, to suicide.
Oh.
Which is why you could also honestly kind of handwave how they're able to have the speed they have at their size. God.
All right. Okay. Not sure you wanted me to say to that, but all right.
That was one of the things you brought up. Is like I don't think that there anything like a human-sized thing should be able to go at that size at that speed.
Yeah.
That's like
because you were saying something about using straight up logic, like you could explain it with the power of like physics.
Well, there is the whole thing that if the human body is moving at 200 miles per hour, it's not technically going to be not 200, 90 miles per hour. It's not going to be a problem unless it stops suddenly.
Well, no, I just mean like I'm pretty sure if the human themselves physically was going at that speed, there'd be some muscle problems.
Well, yeah, but not fully human.
Yeah, but that's
they
not
have
really
a body
structured
to go that speed.
And I doubt that they would. That's all I was saying. I'm pretty sure there's some things we're not considering when we're considering giant spiders going 90 miles an hour. Then again, hippos are pretty fucking fast.
Yeah, hippos are pretty fucking fast, and we are talking about more legs, which means that they would be able to more easily achieve higher speeds. After all, the fastest two-legged animals are nowhere near as fast as the fastest four-legged animals.
But don't you think there's like a peak speed per leg?
Well, yes, there would be a peak speed.
But I mean, like, just a universal constant, like, this is the maximum speed per leg.
But it's also the kind of thing where, like, in movies with giant monsters, like, those honestly shouldn't be able to move at all.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. If we're counting it by the leg, then how fast is a millipede?
One that were human size, would probably be able to go pretty fucking fast. Granted, if you upscaled something like a tiger beetle to human speed, it would be able to go about 200 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Because tiger beetles at their regular size are able to go so fast that their eyes can't process what they're seeing.
Yeah, I really think that weight's a key factor that we're not considering for a lot of this.
Weight is a key factor. But at the same time, so is metabolism, like energy.
Yeah.
Which is also why, like, arachnids can't keep up their top speed, and it's not like they're going to be constantly going at 90 miles per hour. That'd be more of a thing that they do when they need to. Their running speed more times would be 30 miles below that, 60 miles per hour.
Alright.
Still pretty fucking fast. It's like the difference between running and sprinting.
Here's the real thing, though. If I'm running at a spider person and they're running at me, do they have enough leg room underneath that I can slide under them?
I mean, you'd probably have to lay flat. Basically, you'd have to get it to where you would be below, like, just slightly below hip height.
Well, yeah, if you're sliding across the ground.
Although, actually, no, they have pedipalps, which are similarly shaped to human legs. So if you did that, and they're typically posed similar to where if they were sitting in a chair. So it's more like you would have to go below knee height.
Yeah, slide tackle them. Slide tackle one of the 8 legs. You can't miss.
Slide tackle one of the 8 legs. Not tripping them. Just kind of stubbing their toe.
I wonder, are they allowed to play soccer normally with extra legs? Is that fair?
Well, not like those legs are meant for kicking things. So I don't think they'd be very good at it.
Oh, come on.
I mean, the real question is would something like a Jorogumo be able to play something like basketball with the fact that they have 6 arms? I'm sorry, but she has an unfair advantage.
Does she have a set of normal arms that are shaped in a similar way to a human structure?
All 6 of them are human shaped.
Well, yes, but I mean, they aren't all coming from the same shoulder, are they?
Nah, it's basically like 3 sets of shoulders set just below each other.
Okay, I think you're missing my question here.
Which is?
Do they have just a normal set of hands, and the other hands are just added on to extra places?
I guess, kinda. I mean, it's not like extra places, it's more like directly below the pair above them. Not like just out of the middle of the rib cage and then out of like the sides right above the hips.
So her 3 sets of arms are all right next to each other?
Kinda, yeah.
She could just go off the honor system and you say, hey, only use like the middle set of arms and that's it.
Well, granted, there is a whole thing of like the first time a tall person played basketball, it actually forced the entire structure of the game to be redone.
So would it really be basketball anymore at that point?
They might have to do some rule changes.
Or are we in basketball patch 3?
Because when that happened, it was a whole thing of all he would need to do is just... if memory serves, like before that, there was no rule in place saying that if someone was throwing the ball into the hoop, you couldn't just stick your hand through the hoop and knock it out that way. Because he would do that. He would just stand up, put his hand up, through the hoop as the ball was about to go in and just bat it out, as well as no rule saying that you couldn't just sit on the ball and wait out the clock that way, because the opposing team would start doing that.
Really? They just hold on to it?
Basically, like, okay, we scored a point now. We just got to make sure that they don't do any. Take ball, sit on it, just wait out the clock. People stopped going to basketball games that guy was playing because of shit like that.
Could they not just grab the ball from under his ass?
I think that might have been considered like, what's the word for it? Unnecessary roughness or something like that.
You're not even touching him, though.
You are intentionally knocking him over, though.
No, you're trying to get the ball.
By knocking him over.
By getting the ball. If he falls over, it's his fault.
It's a whole thing of you're still doing an action with the intent of knocking him over.
Not if you... You didn't even touch him, though. You're going for the ball.
Well, yeah, you know... It's the fact that you did something with the intent of knocking him over. Like, yes, you are trying to get the ball, but your other intent is knocking him over. Because you have to knock him off the ball.
Basketball's dumb.
It's a solid wood floor.
And? He's already sitting his ass on the floor.
My point is, I'm pretty sure that'd be like unnecessary roughness or something like that.
No,
it's your line.
I just play soccer, and then in soccer, it's more of it's your fault if you're in the way kind of thing.
Unless you slide tackle someone.
Yeah, but this is not slide tackling someone.
It's your line.
It's just, in soccer, if two people are going for the ball, if you knock his ass over when he gets in your way, it's fine. They're not going to card you. Just goddamn. I already lost my line anyways. I don't know where we are.
Yeah, because it starts with, I did not pull my chair.
And
we got distracted because we started talking about magical genetics.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, I did not pull my chair away from hers today to give myself space to breathe. Instead, I sat close beside her like a normal human would, closer than we sat inside my car, close enough that the last time my body felt submerged in the heat from her skin.
It was a strange experience, both enjoyable and nerve-wracking, but I preferred this to sitting across the table from her. Oh, are you just inhaling?
Yeah, sorry.
I thought you were preparing to say something.
Yeah, it's just...
Creepy?
Do you know Steven Universe?
Yes!
Yeah, what's your opinion on it?
I like it.
Did you watch the movie?
Not yet. I still need to finish the series. Damn
it. You need to watch it.
Yeah, I know.
It has the best fusion in it.
I've seen pictures of the one with the heart-shaped gym.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
No, I know that's not the fusion.
But yeah, the cartoon.
But I've seen clips of like the part where she's dodging Garnet's punches. Because someone put that clip on r/D&D memes with what it feels like having an AC of 19 at level 1.
Yeah.
Which, let me tell you, having an AC of 15, that was what it felt like. Anyway. It was more than I was used to, and yet I quickly realized that it was not enough. I was not satisfied. Being this close to her only made me want to be closer still. The pull was stronger the closer I got. Dear God, is Famine from fucking Supernatural in town?
I got closer and closer to her till it felt like I was sinking into her skin.
You're just gonna have a scene.
I am sinking into her skin.
You're just gonna have a scene of two people making out, which results in them literally eating each other.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that was a thing that happened.
What? How? How did they eat each other?
Literally, they just started taking bites out of each other while making out.
Why?
Until they died. Because famine.
Oh.
The horseman Famine was in town and causing people to like give in to like whatever they were starving for, be it like affection or anything like that. So you had a man who literally like ate Twinkies until his stomach burst.
Jesus fucking Christ.
As well as other stuff like that.
Alright.
That was the Valentine episode for that season. And what
Gross.
made this funny is the fact that Jensen Ackles, the guy that plays Dean, was in the remake of My Bloody Valentine, which was the name of the episode. Meanwhile, Jared Padalecki was in the remake of House of Wax. Wasn't very good. I don't recommend it, but there was a reference to that movie at one point. Like, Dean straight up name drops the movie.
I don't know what either of those things are, so that whatever.
No, it's just kind of funny when stuff like that happens. And then there was the one of the meta episodes of Supernatural in which Sam and Dean accidentally jump into the real world, and so people think that they're their actors. They do research on themselves, and they find, and so like Sam and Dean find out that Jensen Ackles was on an episode of Days of Our Lives, like as one of his earlier acting roles.
Wow.
And Jensen Ackles is just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, there's a moment where Dean Winchester was just like, you gotta be kidding. Like, there's a moment where he realizes that he's wearing makeup, and he just goes, well, painted whore. Or like the moment that like he gets really depressed because he realizes that in real life the Impala is actually multiple cars. Because that's what happens when you use a car for filming. Like, for a professional thing, you have multiple of the same make, model, and color of that car used for different things.
Oh.
So, like, you'll have the ones that have, like, parts so that you can have the camera in a specific place. So you can get, like, specific shots. You have ones that are, like, meant to be destroyed. Like, stuff like that.
I wonder how much it costs for all those cars.
Typically a good amount.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you need, like, a Hollywood budget. But, like, in that episode, the actor Misha Collins dies.
Oh, no.
He's the guy who plays Castiel. It is the weirdest, most surreal thing. Like, he spends his time on set just tweeting about how he feels like how he's like finally going to be accepted by the two main actors as one of their friends.
And then fucking dies.
And then fucking dies.
Wow.
Like, there's a moment where they think that Cass traveled with them, and what it is just that Misha thought that they were practicing their lines.
That's dumb.
But it's great at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, whose line is it?
Mine, I think.
I believe
I'd
it's
accused her of being a magnet for danger. Right now, it felt like that was the literal truth. I was danger. With every inch
What's up, danger?
I let myself near to her. Her attraction grew in force, and then Mr. Banner turned the lights on.
Okay,
was
sure.
Dude, I was sitting next to. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, God, now I just want to listen to "What's Up, Danger" from the Spider-Verse soundtrack. That's a good song. Honestly, I fucking love the soundtrack from that movie.
Really?
Like, it has one of the few Post Malone songs that I legitimately enjoy.
I still don't even know who Post Malone is.
Okay, let me find a picture of him. I mean, he's one of H3H3's friends.
I still don't even know who H3H3 is either.
You've never watched any of his videos?
Yep.
Okay.
What?
No,
I've
just
never even looked at his channel.
Knowing you, I would have thought that you would.
I don't even. Why? What does he do?
I don't know. He just seems like. Well, okay, he's partly like. He does variable stuff, but he seems like someone that'd be up your alley. Yeah, that's Post Malone, and he's like one of the bigger members of the modern subgenre known as emo rap, really isn't emo or rap, but you know. God damn. The fuck? But like, I'm not a fan of emo rap, but that's also because I kind of got spoiled by emo rock, especially the life sucks but let's party type music instead of emo rap, which is more just life sucks, I'm sad.
Oh.
Which is much less my thing.
Yeah, I've never really liked emo or rap, so.
There's a lot of like My Chemical Romance's songs that I really just enjoy the mood of, like Na 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 Na, which is straight up just like a high energy party song.
Really?
Yeah, as well as House of Wolves, which is another song I really enjoy, and Planetary Go.
Oh.
Which all kind of have that whole feeling of life sucks, let's party. As well as there's a lot of stuff from the other two members of the big three, Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy, which tends to have nice energy. Anyway, it was odd how much of a distance this made, considering the lack of light meant little to my eyes. I could still see just as perfectly as before. Every detail of the room was clear. Okay, things that are meant to see in the dark would typically be like a little put off if light came on suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even I make sure to do that. Oh god, that is uncomfortable. It is very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
My sadistic waifu.
So why the sudden shock of electricity and air? In this dark, that was not a. In this dark that was not.
Holy shit!
In this dark, that was not dark.
Second hangover?
Nope. I think I'm having a stroke.
Oh god.
Was it because I knew that I was the only one who could see clearly? That both Bella and I were invisible to others?
Yes,
the
stereotypically attractive man is invisible to others.
Yep. Both Bella and I were invisible to others. Like we were alone, just the two of us hidden in the dark room, sitting so close beside one another. This reminds me of one of my teachers that didn't like turning the lights off during videos because of two students that did a certain thing in her room. In the dark.
Knowing what you just said, I'm worried that it's not just making out.
I'm pretty sure it was more than that. I never got more details than that, though.
I'm guessing it involved their hands. Or at least one person's hands. Anyway. Oh god. But again, like, if you're going to make a conventionally attractive character, make them understand that they're, like, you know what would be a nice change of pace for once? Have a conventionally attractive character that understands that they're conventionally attractive, owns it, and that is not seen as a bad thing. You know, you're pretty good looking. I know.
Alright, dickhead.
That's not even a dickhead response. Like, typically with attractive people, the only compliments they get are on their appearance.
Yeah.
Like, for fuck's sake, compliment me on something that I can't, something that I can control. Like my outfit. Or something I did. Not, your face is nice. Actually, you know what? At least if you said your face is nice, it'd be so fucking awkward and bizarre that it would be kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, that's one of those things that always bugs me, because it's like, you could have characters that aren't confident, but make it to where they aren't confident in their abilities or something. And where it's like, okay, I realize I'm attractive, but I don't want to get by on just my looks. I want to get by on my abilities. Dear God, I'm talking about Legally Blonde. Holy shit. I just realized that. If it weren't for the trailers I had to sit in during the beginning of that movie, I'd probably pop the DVD and probably check Netflix now to think about it. But, dear, like, God, that is one of those things, though, that always bugged me of, like, oh, stereotypical attractive teenage character, but they don't realize you're attractive. Like, you're not doing anything new. Stop it. Or you know what? If they don't think they're attractive, have it be over something that, is kind of noticeable. Or might throw people off. Like, I don't know, this one fucking webcomic I started reading recently, like the whole thing is literally that the female lead has a scar over her eye that basically like forces it to where she has a lazy eye.
Uh-huh.
That is something to feel legitimately insecure about. I can understand that one.
Mm-hmm.
Not like that one I can understand. Like, weirdly enough, like, I'm pretty sure more people would find that off-putting than them just straight up missing an eye.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure I know why that is, but I'm pretty sure that is the case for most people.
Hmm.
Oh, God. Like, how stupid are you to not realize, oh yeah, my body, the way my body is meant to be a fucking lure to these meat bags, therefore I'm attractive to them. My hand moved towards her without my permission, just to touch her hand, to hold it in the darkness. That Spider-Man was fighting back.
Spider-Man?
Or what was it? No,
I need pictures of him then.
The Spider-Man stage musical.
What? Alright.
God damn it, what did you poke? What?
It's Nerf or nothing.
Spider-Man stage play. What was it called? Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. In the darkness that Spider-Man was turning off. Would that be such a horrific... Oh, God, now we just imagine that instead of Mr. Banner, it was just that Spider-Man walked in and flipped the light switch on. Spider-Man, what are you doing here? Turning off the dark. Would that be such a horrific mistake? If my skin bothered her, she only had to pull away. God.
Yo, buddy, I hate to break it to you, but you cold as shit. Don't touch me.
Ignoring the fact that his hands would be at worst room temperature, most people's reactions to someone with cold hands isn't nearly as bad as the reaction to clammy hands.
I don't prefer hands on me in general. Alright, cool.
I'm just reminded of a time when a person I was with kept reminding me to hold her hand.
What?
Yeah, it was the whole thing. It's like it didn't even pop into my mind. Granted, my arm was on her shoulder.
No shoulder touchy, only hand touchy.
It wasn't even that. It was just more like I was using her shoulder as an armrest, and she straight up just went, "What, you don't want to hold my hand?"
That's
okay.
when you back up. You get out of there fast, Scoob.
Like, okay, fine. Anyway, your line.
My line.
I yanked
My hand back Folded my arms slightly across my chest and clenched my hands closed. No mistakes. I promised myself that I would make no mistakes, no matter how minimal they seemed. If I held her hand, I would only want more. Another insignificant touch, another move closer to her. I could feel that a new kind of desire was growing in me, working to override my self-control. I could just picture the teacher flicking on the lights in the back of the class, and they're sharing the same jacket because it's too cold.
They're in the same seat.
Yep.
For the love of God, Edward, get off of Bella's lap. No mistakes. I swear to God, this entire time he's been one note, and it is. I think that's what's so exhausting about this.
Oh yeah, it's literally just the same thing rehashed
It's
over and over.
Like, it's no change in him. The only change is the fact that he's admitting that he's not going to run away. Well, not even that he's not going to run away. Like there isn't an actual change in characterization. It's just, oh, well, I'm staying this time. Maybe, kind of. I might run away. Who really knows?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's honestly what's annoying me so much, is the fact that there is no change in him. Like, at very least, if he had, like, a charming personality. If he were a jerk with a heart of gold, that would be nice. Like, oh, he outwardly looked down upon people, but internally he really cares. That might work. But no.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Oh, you kind of broke up there.
Oh, nothing.
I thought you said something.
If I did, I forgot what I was saying.
But yeah, you get what I mean, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, this slow change of character would work if it were a more likable character.
Yeah.
But, anyway, your line. I think I said no mistakes. I have now.
Bella folded her arms securely across her own chest and her hands balled up into fists just like mine.
Yes, but I think in her case it's that she's embarrassed because of the fact that you wouldn't hold her hand.
Yeah.
That's at least a more slightly understandable reaction than his, but that's honestly just because of the fact that she's a teenager.
Also because she likes to gas bears.
God damn it, that was so... like, in a way that actually made... Like, I can't think of anyone... Like, I can think of several ways in which that realization... She could have voiced that realization in a way that actually, like, worked. Like, wait, bears.
But
Or,
nope.
like, wait a minute, bears?
Bears.
Like, at least the whole thing of, like, she, like, has that realization. And, wait, bears? Like, you know, because bears. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Seriously, bears? Like, something that actually, like, that realization, instead of just gasping the word bears as a question, like,
Bears!
Bears? Like, that doesn't make... That's not how people talk. Basic writing. Read what you write out loud. I shouldn't need to explain that. Like, I really shouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm sorry, like, God, that's... Just like I shouldn't need to explain that you need to do basic research. What are you thinking? I was dying to whisper the words to her, but the room was too quiet to get away with even a whispered conversation.
The movie began, lightening up the darkness just a bit. Bella glanced up at me. She noted the rigid way I held my body just like hers and smiled. Her lips parted slightly, and her eyes seemed full of warm invitations. Touch me, Edward. Held my hand. Pat my head.
Touch me, say that you need me, love me. You'll never leave me. Oh, God, that song is honestly kind of depressing. Love Fool by the Cardigans, I believe. see. Loveful. Yeah, the Cardigans. Okay, it's all one word. Loveful. Let's see, what is the... Okay. Love me, say that you love me, fool me, go on and fool me, love me, pretend that you love me, leave me, just say that you need me, so I cry and beg for you, love me, for you to love me, say that you... Yeah, that is just a depressing song. Anyway.
Yeah.
Or perhaps I was seeing what I wanted to see.
I smiled back, her breathing caught with a low gasp, and she looked quickly away.
That made it worse. I didn't know her thoughts. No, you've just been using your powers as a crutch so much that you can't read basic body language. And I don't mean like that dumbass like body language YouTube channel shit. I still find that one hilarious. Like the lady who played Carol Danvers, like some of the interviews she's been in, like people reading these different things about her body language and the body language of the other actors around her, and the actors straight up responding to those people on Twitter saying, "No, that's not how it was." The reason why she was posturing like that in the chair was because of the fact that they kept deciding they needed, the people on set kept deciding they needed to touch up her hair between shots.
Yeah.
As well as the fact that it's been a long day. And you know, those things that we're saying back and forth between each other, they're jokes. But no, apparently the person that was just like, hey, how about we get directors that are actually part of the target demographic of the movies that they're reviewing to review them, just hates white people. That's totally the conclusion we need to draw. That was seriously the thing that started that quote-unquote controversy. And then you had people complaining about the fact that her suit didn't hug her ass tight enough. Really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Or a character in a movie who's taught not to show their emotions externally isn't showing her emotions externally enough in the trailers. It's fucking stupid shit. Man children on YouTube are the worst fucking thing.
Yeah.
Anyway. I didn't know her thoughts, but I was suddenly positive that I had been right before. That she wanted me to touch her. Love me, love me. Oh, god damn it. She felt this dangerous desire just to...
Between her
the
body
dangerous
and
part
mine.
about it is your personality.
The electricity hummed. She pulled out a taser.
Will you feel this? Well, I feel what?
He's a vampire. He'll be fine.
I mean, if it's one of the dart ones, we don't know if the venom conducts electricity or how it reacts with electricity. For all we know, it could detonate like C4.
That would be hilarious.
Yes. Fun fact: you can set C4 on fire and it will not explode. It doesn't mean you should, but it won't.
What causes C4 to go then?
Electricity.
Oh.
Yeah.
You just send it a signal to its battery to beep boop and it bops?
Yeah, that's what, basically, like, you attach, like, a timer or you attach some sort of detonator to it that basically, when for a certain reason, either because you pressed a button on a remote or because it ran out of time on a timer attached to it, it sends a jolt of electricity, it completes a circuit through it, and it explodes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, what now?
Well, I'm on a watch list.
Yay!
Anyway. She didn't move at all through the hour, holding her stiff, controlled pose as I held mine. Occasionally, she would peek at me again. The humming current would jolt through me with a sudden shock, and I exploded. Shrapnel of my stone-hard body, impaling the people around.
Homie, they dead.
A lot of people dead. Oh, god damn it, I almost, searched, 150 pounds of C4 explosion.
Mm.
I was really tempted.
Right, sorry, it's my line.
Yes.
Kind of fucked up there for a moment.
Meanwhile, TNT gets increasingly more unstable the longer it exists.
Bet.
To the point where old sticks could explode randomly.
Gotta get used to TNT before it goes bad, boy.
Or you accidentally bump it.
The hour passed, slowly and yet not slowly enough. This was so new I could have sat like this with her for days just to experience the feelings fully.
I had a dozen different arguments with myself while the minutes passed. Rationality, struggling with the desire I tried to justify, desire as I tried to justify touching her. Bad touch. Never phrase it that way again.
Touch me so I can get my satisfaction. Oops, that's not the sign. Finally, Mr. Barrett turned the lights on again.
So I can get my satisfaction. In the bright fluorescent light, the atmosphere of the room returned to normal. Bella sighed and stretched, flexing her fingers in front of her. Must have been uncomfortable to hold that position for so long. It was easier for me. Stillness came naturally. Because apparently the natural rhythms that run through natural nervous system rhythms that run through the human body just stop when you. Which I swear is one of the things I find most annoying. Like breathing, I could understand them stopping doing that. That is a weird combination of something you could do both unconsciously and consciously.
All right.
So like when they are just sitting there thinking to themselves, I could understand if they stop breathing, but when they're working on a task, it would make sense for them to start breathing again because like the back of their mind is doing it. Similarly, it would make sense to me if their heart was continuously beating just because of those natural processes of the nervous system.
I guess he could just turn everything off and be as mindless as he looks.
like I'm not crazy here, right?
What? Sorry.
Just the idea of what I was just saying.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense, right?
I didn't know that your nervous system made you shake all that much, though.
Well, I don't mean shake. It's just the fact that there would be natural moving, fidgeting, stuff like that. As well as the fact that if he's like, you would still have just that slight palpitation of the chest as the heart beats. Unless for some reason all of the unconscious processes of his mind shut down. Which would likely also mean that his eyes no longer rotated if he tilted his head. Because that's the thing your eyes do. It's also why you can typically read upside down.
Alright.
Because your eyes straight up just rotate in order to be able to read what you're looking at. Or identify what you're looking at.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, Edward probably just turns his brain off sometimes in class.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, it would just seem that that's... Because later on, there's stuff said like, oh, don't forget to breathe. And stuff like that. Like, don't forget to breathe. It helps make you look alive. And like, fidget from time to time. But I don't know.
Are people really going to be noticing all the fidgets or whatever?
I mean, they might notice the lack of fidgets, because if you saw someone just sitting completely, like, stone still, you would be a bit weirded out.
I'd do it on purpose just to fuck with people.
I mean, that would be the whole thing that you have to make sure to... are you talking about if you were one of these vampires or in real life?
Yeah, if I was one of those vampires.
Okay, I was about to say, you really need to learn how to control your breathing in a way that makes it look like you aren't breathing.
Yeah, not mention
Pull a
this.
Terminator 2. The guy who played the Liquid Metal Terminator taught himself how to run without visibly breathing. Like, he was
Nice.
breathing. You just couldn't see it. Like, the way he did it made it to where you couldn't see it. Like, you couldn't tell that he was breathing. Because he's a robot. You don't need to breathe. The regular Terminators technically do need to breathe because they do have a set of lungs that is a set of lungs and a miniature set of lungs and a miniature heart that is powering the flesh around the metal endoskeleton.
Alright.
Which is why, like, why those Terminators also technically need to eat, because they need to provide it with nutrition as well.
Alright.
And there was going to be a scene in the original Terminator in which Arnold straight up just shoves an entire chocolate bar, wrapper and all, into his mouth.
Nice. Where's
Yeah.
my line?
I chuckled.
I chuckled at the relieved expression on her face. Well, that was interesting.
Was it? She murmured, clearly understanding what I referred to, but making no comment. What I wouldn't give to hear what she was thinking right now.
In the background, somebody shouts, "Nerd!" at Edward.
In the foreground, someone does the same.
I sighed. No amount of wishing was going to help with that.
Shall we? I asked, standing.
Shaolin Showdown?
I haven't seen that show.
She made a face and got unsteady to her feet. Her hands splayed out as if she were afraid she was going to fall.
How weak are your legs, bitch? Are you not eating enough?
She's pretty pale, so...
Well, yes, but that could just be because of genetic disposition.
Or she's not eating enough, so she's extra pale that she's glowing right now.
Again, I think that it would be more of an issue of, like, she's real thin. Oh, wait, stereotypical white girl character in a movie targeted towards teenage white girls.
Yeesh. Alright, man. Just trying to make a funny haha joke.
So was I.
I don't know, man. I don't think we know how to funny that well. I'm also really tired.
I mean, most of them are stereotypically just pale, brown-haired, brown-eyed, rail thin. Not unhealthy rail thin, but like stereotypical attractive rail thin, because for some reason people decided that being just this side of overweight was attractive for women. I mean, I'm not a chubby chaser, mostly because if anyone's a chaser of anything, it typically means they aren't looking for a relationship of any kind, and don't see the people they're with for those reasons as really anything more. But
Based off what you said, we all know you're not a chubby chaser. You just want to get stepped on.
I'm just looking for pain. But I kind of prefer people that are healthy.
Yeah.
Visibly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I could offer her my hand, or I could place that hand under her elbow just lightly and steady her. Surely that wouldn't be such a horrible
And
infraction.
then hit her with the RKO out of nowhere. No mistakes.
The Arcalo.
I don't get it.
Okay, the people who do Fact Fiend edited together a GIF of the RKO, but done to a cow.
Oh. Oh, with this really stupid edits.
Yeah, let's see if I can find a GIF of it. Oh, God. Fact. Okay, what happens if I just type in Fact Fiend GIF?
Gift. It's a gift from me to you.
Is fact being one word or two words? Okay, it's two words. God damn it. Fact fiend gift cow. You know, it'd probably help if just like Google search on the computer would just let you exclusively search for GIFs.
Yep.
But it doesn't. You have to do that through fucking phones. Did you say the no mistakes?
Yeah.
Okay. She was very quiet as we walked towards the gym. The crease between her the crease was evident was an evidence between her eyes. A sign that she was deep in thought. I too was thinking deeply. No, you're not.
One touch of her skin wouldn't hurt, my selfish side contended.
I could easily moderate the pressure of my hand. It wasn't exactly difficult, as I was firmly in control of myself. My tactile sense was better developed than a human's. I could juggle a few dozen crystal goblets without breaking any of them. I could stroke a soap bubble without pop. Okay. There's a thing that's been on my mind for a while now. And that is the issue that the vampires are too strong within the context of their own world.
Yeah.
If this is... Okay, because there are three mythological things that are confirmed to exist. Vampires, Native American shapeshifters, or Quillette shapeshifters, however pronounce their true name. I'm sorry for mispronouncing it if I did. Quillette shapeshifters. And werewolves apparently do exist. They're actually referred to as children of the moon, and they have been hunted to near extinction by the vampires.
Yeah, what kind of world do you live in where you make a vampire way stronger than a werewolf?
Typically, wouldn't you put them on equal footing?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Or a very... Well, okay. Again, not saying that I'm great at this, but what I did with the vampires is I made it to where they were slightly stronger and faster than humans, but their main thing that made them so dangerous was their ability to regenerate. Basically, so long as the heart or head wasn't destroyed, they could come back.
So you made Deadpool vampires?
Kind of, but if Deadpool's head or heart is destroyed, he could still come back. The man's come back from just his left hand. Like, it's not even that the head has to be destroyed, it's just more that they have to be decapitated or the brain has to be destroyed. The brain has to be disconnected from the heart.
Ah.
The heart is the important thing. But basically, they are able to use the blood that they consume in order to repair their own. Like, the blood ends up transforming into body, cells of whatever just got removed. Again, magical creatures technically created by the Islamo-Christian Judaic god. One of the few things that he directly created in that universe.
Alright.
But, again, the thing that makes them so dangerous is their ability to regenerate. So, like, even other technically more powerful races have trouble putting them down. But they aren't physically more powerful. Sure, they can basically tap into more strength than a human can at the detriment of their own body, which is part of why they're able to move faster and such, because of the fact that, if I move so fast that it starts destroying my legs, like, structurally, it can just repair itself. The fastest they can go is as fast as their body can repair it, is a speed that isn't faster than their body can repair itself. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they aren't the strongest thing out there. They're just to kill. Similarly, like with werewolves, they aren't the toughest thing out there. It's just that they're hard to kill. Like, that's the thing, though. Like, there's only... With the fact that in this universe, werewolves have been hunted to extinction by the vampires, that means that there are two things that can put down a vampire. Another vampire, and an entire pack of Quillette shapeshifters.
Yeah.
And when you've done that, you have done your power. When you've done something like that, you've kind of done your power scaling wrong.
This shouldn't be a world where the vampires are hiding. This should be one where they own.
Exactly. Like that's the issue. That's kind of like the whole issue. Like the vampires have no reason to hide in this universe. It's stated that they can survive the blast of a nuclear bomb. Considering the fact that their bodily fluids are essentially kerosene, that means that won't even chip them.
Oh boy, yeah.
Meaning that you have kind of gone on the wrong end of power scaling. Because you have essentially made them minor gods.
Yeah, there's a problem there.
Like it's shown that because of how sturdy their body, like how hard their body is, that they are able to crush rocks to dust in their hand. The reason why this works with, say, JoJo, with how strong vampires are in that, is because of the fact that you have other things that are able to get as strong. Like you have it to where humans are at least able to circumnavigate this thing, or at very least conventional weapons while putting them down. While not putting them down, can slow them down, or you have it to where it's like, okay, there are ways to get around this. Hell, like even whenever you had something like like the character of Cars, there was a way that they managed to get whenever he got to that final part, they were still able to deal with him, but not everyone is able to. But launching this entire, and he was also the only one like that. Cars was the only one not like that.
Yep.
You didn't have an entire population of cars. It's a lot harder to just yeet them all into space like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and in the end, his power was his punishment.
Kinda, yeah, because of the fact that he was unable to die, he was just floating through space, unable to move. But yeah, like you've done the power scaling wrong whenever it gets to the point to where they straight up can't be killed. When it comes to the point to where they have no weakness.
Yep.
Like, there's a golden quote from fucking Supernatural. Wood chipper beats everything. That should kind of be a rule of thumb. Unless it's something that is on par with like a god of some kind. A wood chipper should be able to beat it, provided it's small enough to fit in it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Whose line?
Yours, I think.
Which one is that? Did you... let's see. Oh, Bella was like a soap bubble. Fragile and ephemeral. Temporary. You want to do one more page?
The one above that.
Do you want to do one more page?
You're supposed to read the one above that.
Oh, no, you said the thing that he could...
No, I said the contended line.
Well, I said the thing about the soap bubble.
No, we skipped I could only moderate.
As long as I could firmly control.
What?
I mentioned the juggling of the dozen crystal goblets and the stroke of a soap bubble without
my line.
Yes.
Bella was like, yeah, you already said my line then. God damn.
Yeah, so then say the beginning of page 252. Let's just do this last page and then call it a day.
Another episode where me and you just get distracted as shit and get nothing done.
I'm sorry, it's just I've been thinking a lot about like world building with stuff like this and how this isn't good world building.
Yeah.
And the importance of how no matter how good or bad something is, there's still something to be learned from it. For instance, how not to world build or power scale.
Yep. Let's not try that again though. If we're gonna get distracted, let's get distracted by something new.
In Dragon Ball Z, there are things that are not Saiyans that can kill Saiyans.
Like Freezer. The soapbox. What? How long would I be able to justify my presence in her life? How much time did I have? Would you still love her when she was old and wrinkly? That's the real question, Edward. Would I have
I
another
mean,
chance, like this moment, like this second? She would not always be within my arm's reach.
Bella turned to face me at the gym's door. Her eyes widened at the expression on my face. She didn't speak. I looked at myself in the reflection of her eyes and saw the conflicting rage in my own. Again, if you're this naturally of an angry person, you might want to seek some, I don't know, some therapy? Talk to a psychologist? Maybe? I don't know. I watched my face change as my better side lost the argument.
F. My hand lifted without a conscious command for it to do so, and as gently as if she were made out of the thinnest glass, as if she were fragile as a bubble, my finger struck the warm skin that covered her cheekbone. It heated under my touch, and I could feel the pulse of blood speed beneath her transparent skin. Transparent?
Yeah, because she's pale. You know, because that's attractive.
But
Over-the-top
transparent?
whiteness. You've never heard, like, oh god, I've seen this one so fucking much in, like fucking shitty anime and manga. She's so pale, her skin's almost see-through.
That's disgusting. I mean, that's actually kind of mean of me to say, but when I think about that, that's just like, ugh.
But that's
like, oh, you can
usually
see-
said as a good thing in those.
No! Do you know what you see under all of the... What? If her
Well,
skin's
actually, if you
transparent, you
could
see her
actually-
muscle.
If you could actually see, that'd be fucking amazing.
It'd be cool
Like,
if you could see all the way.
Like, if they were like oh god, I just thought of like a glass frog monster girl.
A glass.
Have you seen a glass frog?
I could guess what it is by the name.
Let me find a picture of one. Because
She'd be the favorite of the anatomy teacher.
Because I suddenly just had the image pop into my mind of like a monster girl like that, and that would honestly be kind of amazing.
Just see all of its insides and whatnot.
Like, it would be like the most just trippy fucking thing. Like, okay, they only seem to have like actual colored patterning on their back, but okay, here's one where you can like that's what they look like. And you know what? A character like that would also have a reason to be insecure about their appearance.
I guess they couldn't sunbathe on the bottom.
I've got a tan on my back and face, but
yeah.
Actually, in that, like, if it were like that, that would also mean that their muscles lack pigmentation.
Yeah. You're right. Holy shit. Unless frogs are just weird bodies. I don't know.
No, frogs do have, like, typically have pigmented muscle.
Yeah, but that's one thing. If her skin was the only thing that's transparent, you just see her muscles under it, and that'd be kind of scary looking. She'd look like a fucking titan.
Well, she'd look like that one titan.
Yeah.
And that one Devil Joe.
I ordered. Though my hand was aching to shape itself to the side of her face enough. I want to slap them cheeks. Her face bone cheeks.
I think you just read my line. But
what?
I suddenly just imagined like achy breaky heart by fucking Billy Ray Cyrus, but instead of achy breaky hand. Edward's achy breaky hand. Don't break my achy breaky hand. It was difficult to pull my hand back, to stop myself from moving closer to her than I already was. God, now I just want to draw a glass frog monster girl. Maybe I should make that the channel mascot.
A see-through frog.
A see-through frog girl.
Nice.
God. Like, that would be a legitimately interesting idea. See her rib cage and... Anyway. Like, but not in an unhealthy way.
What?
Well, let me put it this way. If it's a bad thing if you can see the ribs of an animal, why is it a good thing if you can see the ribs on a person?
Because you eat human meat a different way than you eat
That's no
animal meat.
Typically, if you can... if you can easily see like the individual ribs on your dog, that means that it's not eating enough, or that it's sick.
Yeah.
And yet, for some reason, because of traditional beauty standards, luckily has started changing in the last few years due to the thick thighs movement, that has been lessening. But that whole thing of, you could see her ribs, therefore that's a good thing. This is how you give people eating disorders.
No one ever said humans were logical, man.
Yeah. Anyway, saw myself moving closer to her than I already was. 1,000 different possibilities ran through my mind in an instant. 1,000 different ways to touch her. You're just making the song from the Cardigans pop back into my mind. And now I'm just thinking about their bubblegum pop covers of different like Black Sabbath songs.
I don't know what bubblegum pop is, but okay.
I mean, what's the first thing you think when you hear that phrase?
Candy?
Well, I mean, like, when you hear the phrase bubblegum pop, what kind of sounds pop into your head?
None.
No pun intended.
I don't associate the phrase bubblegum pop with music. I associate it with the pop of gum.
Okay, typically someone hears the phrase bubblegum pop, and even if they don't know what it is, they think, like, the sugary sweet equivalent of, like, pop music.
But I thought pop was already supposed to be kind of sugary sweet.
No, pop
Wait,
is just
are
what's
you
popular.
talking about like Aqua? And
No.
Toy Box?
Is Aqua bubblegum pop? I don't listen to Aqua.
No, but they made the Barbie Girl song.
Oh, I love that song. Apparently
the
they're
European
classified
Eurodance and Bubblegum Dance.
bubblegum dance. Okay,
so it's a close enough equivalent.
It's kind of an equivalent, yes. Hello, Bobby. Let's go party. Oh. Anyway.
I'm a Barbie girl.
But yes, less of a
world.
dance version of that. But now think like Black Sabbath songs. So, like heavy rock. Like pre-modern metal rock. Or pre-modern metal.
Black Sabbath bubblegum pop.
I mean, all you need to search is Black Sabbath cardigans. Anyway, 1,000 different possibilities ran through my mind in an instant. 1,000 different ways to touch her. Oh yeah, I already said, god damn it. The tip of my finger was tracing across her lips. That's a bit weird. You barely know this person, Edward. My palm was cupping under her chin, pulling the clip from her hair and letting it slip out of... Do not fuck with another person's hair!
I could just picture Edward be like, this is mine now, and then just bolts it away.
Okay, the fact that there was... Okay, even if there wasn't a clip in someone's hair, you should assume that a person
Did a lot of work on it?
Not even necessarily that they put a lot of work into it, but that they have styled their hair in some way.
Yeah.
They have their hair in a way that they like, and you should not fuck with that! Messing with the ends, that's one thing. Just lightly running your hand across it, not mussing it up. That's another. If you're actually dating the person, then like that whole just consensual, like, all that different kind of like consensual touching that stems from humans being descended from primates and therefore grooming each other being something that's just a social behavior. That sort of stuff, yes. Just pulling a hair clip out of someone's fucking hair. Ugh.
You okay there? Has Edward gone even lower on your list of people that you don't like?
It's common sense. This boy has no idea how the fuck to socialize.
Even I wouldn't pull a paperclip out of somebody's hair unless I knew intentionally that I was... Whatever. Either way, I wouldn't do it unless I was intentionally trying to piss them off, and even only then, I would have to know them really, really, really
Yeah,
well.
even then it'd have to be like that's your dynamic with that person.
Yeah,
Like your dynamic is you give each other shit.
yeah, like that'd be something you do to your kismesis. Oh, that's a nice look you've done with your hair. Yoink.
Yoink.
You don't need this.
And even then, that's the kind of thing to where that really has to be like that kind of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
My arms winding around her waist, holding her against the length of my body.
Enough!
Well, like, that I mind a lot less. Oh, you hugged her. Okay, whatever. You do both have a mutual interest in each other, sure. Hell, I don't give a shit if most of my friends hug me out of the blue, but that's honestly just because so long as it's not someone that I am physically put off by, like a complete stranger, or someone who I just don't trust on instinct.
Why are you hugging me, stranger?
Exactly.
Why are you hugging me, person I don't trust?
Like you, I would straight up not give a shit if you just hugged me out of the blue.
I would be the same way. I'd give you shit for it, but like it'd just be like, okay, this is happening now.
Like,
I'd be like, what's your game with this? What are you trying to do?
Honestly, in my case, it would just be the whole thing of like, I'd only be like maybe slightly miffed if I was in the middle of something. Like I'm trying to reach for a thing. You've pinned my arms to my side.
Sir, I need to reach the top shelf.
I need to reach the top shelf. I am taller than you.
Let me go so I can reach my goddamn cereal.
Have you ever actually told me how tall you are?
No, but I know for a fact you're taller than me.
Yeah, I am like, if memory serves, I am 6 foot even.
I can look at my wallet real quick. It's probably a bit late since I had this made a while back.
I'm guessing driver's license?
Yeah, it was in 2016. So in 2016, I was 5'9".
Oh, okay, so
I'm probably around like 5'9" still, probably, actually. Let's be real.
If memory serves, 5'10" is the average for men in the US, so you were just slightly below.
Yeah, or I've grown an inch, in which case, who gives a shit at that point, right?
In which case, who gives a shit?
I'm still pretty much average height.
Yeah, you're average height, and most people really aren't going to give a shit. Not like it really affects your dating pool.
No. I'll just have to go for a really tall person, so I'm constantly at ass-eating height.
I thought you were gonna say chest height. Like, if someone were that tall, I think that you.
I think they'd have one of those diseases or something, or medical disorders.
They'd have a pituitary problem.
Yeah.
Which would also affect their nutrition, their like metabolism and nutrition.
And they'd probably die in their early 20s.
I don't think early 20s. It'd probably be more 60s.
They'll die earlier. They'll die earlier, though, either way.
Just the whole thing of like they probably have heart issues.
Mm-hmm.
As their heart is not equipped to pump blood that far.
Yeah. Anyways, it's your line, unless you said it while I was not moving.
Wait, where were we? Did you say enough?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that was out of character. I mean, that wasn't
mine.
Saying enough.
Yeah.
That was actually.
I was actually screaming into my mic. Enough.
Hugging. That's too far.
Edward, it's time to stop.
Which one of you degenerates likes handhold?
Oh, that picture! I love that one.
Apparently not me. I'd rather just use someone shorter than me as an armrest.
When she says that, you should just grabbed her by the shoulder and walked with that.
This is why I shouldn't date people shorter than me. I just use them as armrests.
You just remind me of something really mean I said to my older sister. So she's like my half sister, right?
Okay.
And she is like, I guess her mother is really tall because she is tall. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's
like probably near this.
Like, I mean, that's not necessarily like always going to be true, but okay.
I know, but like either way, she's a lot taller compared to me and my younger sister because she's half related, so they have different genetics and whatnot.
All right.
And since she's really tall and I was a lot younger, so she looked even bigger to me. We were at McDonald's and she's just like, "Yeah, I'm trying to find a boy bigger than me." And then without even missing a beat, I looked straight at her and I said, "You're probably not going to be able to find that."
Oh, but oh.
I know, and she just kind of looked at me, just like, "That was very mean of you."
Just
and
a
I was just
bit,
like,
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, whoops."
Oh.
Well, I mean, it's true, you're really tall, but I think she did find someone taller than her.
What?
She did find somebody taller than her in the end.
Oh yeah. I'm still
But
looking
yeah,
for
my sister
someone
just kind of
taller
looked
than
at me
me.
like, "Calm down, kid."
I'm still looking for someone out there taller than me. Anyway, I forced myself to turn, to move away from her. My body moved stiffly, unwilling.
I grew stiffy.
God damn it.
I let my mind linger behind to watch her as I walked swiftly away, almost running from the temptation. Oh shit. Ugh. I caught Mike Nuken's thoughts. They were the loudest. While he watched Bella walk past him in oblivion, her eyes unfocused and her cheeks red, he glowered, and suddenly my name was mingled with curses in his head. I couldn't help grinning slightly in response.
Oh my god. I dislike everyone at this school.
What if Mike Newton thought that, like... What if Mike thought that Edward made Bella mad, and he's just mad that Edward made his friend mad?
You know, you might have an argument if it weren't for the other things we've seen of Mike from inside his head.
Yeah.
That being him being a jealous, possessive ass to someone he's not dating. Even worse now because he is dating someone in a mutual exclusive relationship.
Yikes.
Again,
fucking Mike.
And even then, if it was a exclusive relationship, you shouldn't be getting possessive over anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you're dating them. Hell, I'm not even interested whenever I'm put off when people are like overly possessive, and it is a mutually exclusive relationship between the two. Because that shows, in my opinion at least, a clear mistrust of their SO.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have trust in your relationship, why are you even in it? That's why I always sign the NDA. Anyway, because they can trust me to not spill. Anyway.
I think it's your line.
My hand was tingling. I flexed it and then curled it into a fist, but it continued to sting painlessly.
Owie! No, I hadn't hurt her, but touching her hand still had been a mistake.
Oh, God.
She was now infected. She would soon become a zombie.
She was now infected with the clinically stupid virus.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
I heard there's no cure for that.
This has been again,
it's been very distracting.
Yes. Again, it's the fact that Edward does not show any character growth.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess if you follow my Twitter, which you probably don't, anyone out there, expect a glass frog monster girl sometime in the near future.
Don't feel bad, though. I didn't even know he had a Twitter.
I mean, if you want, you could follow it.
I don't even use Twitter.
Fair enough. Anyway, bye.
Yep. Bye.